y'all, Tammy here. I am cooking dinner, so I thought I'd show you what I'm cooking tonight. So, this is everything that I need. I've been cooking with coconut oil because it's a healthier option. And you can get this big container at Costco for like $15. So I just use about a tablespoon of this, about the same amount that I would use of olive oil. So it really doesn't have a flavor, so your food's not going to taste like coconut. And then I've got some minced garlic. I'm going to use about 2 tablespoons of this. I've got some low-fat cream cheese. It called for, I'm trying to make this a little lighter version. Oh, I guess I should tell you. Well, let me run through this first. I have some Greek yogurt, or you can use sour cream. My grocery store, because of the weather, are behind on their shipment, so they didn't have any. Some butter, some cottage cheese, a pound of ground meat. I'm going to use some Parmesan cheese. This comes from Dollar Tree. I'm going to use a little bit of grated cheese, a jar of pasta sauce, a pound of pasta, and I'm going to use whole wheat thin spaghetti. And then I have half a large onion and half a bell pepper. And this is going to be called $1 Million Spaghetti Pie. So, let's get started. Okay, sorry, it's really dark. My stove light went off. So what I'm doing now is I'm just got the onions and bell peppers in here with about a good heaping tablespoon of my coconut oil. And I'm going to get these soft. And then I'm going to add in a couple tablespoons of minced garlic, just depending on how much you like it. So let's get that part done. Okay, I'm sorry it's so dark. So once your onions and peppers start to soften up, your onions will get a little clear instead of white. Your peppers will start to look a little soft. Go ahead and put your ground meat in. This is a pound of 93% lean ground beef. You can use ground turkey, you can use ground chicken, you can use ground pork if you eat pork, or you can use one of those vegan meat products. So I'm going to get this brown. Just get this brown. I'm probably going to add, I already added a little bit of salt and pepper to my onions and peppers, and I added in my garlic. I added in last because I don't want my garlic to burn. And then I'm going to add in probably a little bit of, let me see here, maybe a little bit of parsley, and where to go, and a little bit of Italian seasonings, sorry, and I like to add in a little bit of salt-free, oh that's not it, but like salt-free, like steak seasoning when I'm cooking with ground meat. So I'm going to get this brown, and then I'm going to show you, I'm going to add the spaghetti sauce, the pasta sauce to this. I've got some water back here that I'm waiting to come up to a boil. Woo, see the steam? So when that boils, I'm going to put the noodles in there and boil those. And then when I get that point done, I'll show you how all of this is assembled. So I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, it's a little brighter over here. So while the meat and the noodles are cooking, I'm going to go ahead and mix all the cheeses together. So I'm going to put in about half of this container of cottage cheese. I'm going to put in this whole block of cream cheese and this whole container of Greek yogurt. And you can use sour cream. So I'm going to mix these all together. This may need to be softened a little bit, maybe in the microwave. And then we're just going to let this hang out. So hold on. Okay, so I took all of my cheeses. I took my 1 container of plain Greek yogurt, just one of the regular little containers. Like I said, you can use sour cream. My store just didn't have it. And then I used some low-fat cottage cheese. If you don't like this, you could substitute some ricotta cheese for it. And I used half of this container, which is 16 ounces, so I used about 8 ounces. But I'm going for kind of a lower fat version here of like a, very comfort food, full fat meal. And then I used this block of Nutella cream cheese, which is 8 ounces. And so I did melt the cream cheese a little bit for about 30 seconds to get it soft enough so that I could stir. And then I added just a little bit of my black pepper, and I already moved it. A little bit of my Italian seasoning, because I like for my cheese to have a little flavor. So I'm going to shake in a little bit of my Parmesan cheese here. And I'm going to stir that around. And then my ground meat and my noodles are almost done. So I'm going to take my jar of pasta sauce and I'm going to put that in with my ground meat. I'm going to drain my noodles and we will be ready to assemble. And now we're back in the dark. A little tip I do when I have poured my pasta sauce out and there is still quite a bit of sauce in the jar, you can see that, is I get a little bit of my pasta water and I pour it in my spaghetti jar. And then I'm just going to shake that around, put the lid back on, shake that around, and get the rest of that sauce out of there. So, yeah, so I've added my sauce to my ground meat. And I did add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce and some Montreal steak seasoning, along with a little bit of Italian seasoning and black pepper to my ground meat, because I like my ground meat to have a little bit of a steaky seasoned flavor. I don't like just plain ground meat. So I'm going to stir this up. My noodles are done. I need to drain those, and we're going to put it all together. Okay, so here we go. We've got everything ready. There's our cheeses. There's our meat sauce, and here's our noodles, and here is our greased baking dish. This is just a 13 by 9 dish, and I greased it with some more of my coconut oil. Coconut oil has a consistency kind of like Crisco or shortening, but it actually is probably not as soft at first. You can melt it and keep it in a regular oil jar and use it that way. You can use it for a lot of things. You can use it on your hair, your skin, all sorts of stuff. So it's really good. So it's multi-purpose. So I'm not spending $15 just on vegetable oil. But I'm going to take some of these noodles. See if I can do this one-handed. I need a cameraman. They're all busy. And I'm going to put them down here in this greased baking dish. About half of them. And I did grate some cheese over there. I like mixing the cheddar cheese and not necessarily using like mozzarella if I'm, so we like mixing the cheeses. So, and the best deal on cheeses, if you have a Costco or you're a Costco member, is they have these giant blocks of cheese, and that's where we get ours. So there's my noodles. I'm going to put about half of my sauce over this, and then some sauce, and then we're going to repeat. Okay, so here's the first part. I took my noodles, I put them in the pan, you see me do that. I took about half of my cheese mixture and I put it on top. And now I'm going to take about half of this sauce and put that on top. Okay, there's the sauce layer. Now we're going to add the rest of our noodles and repeat. Okay, so there's my second set of noodles and the rest of my cheese mixture. Man, I scraped that bowl. I actually did have some noodles left. It's really dark over here, guys. I'm sorry. I'll try to lighten this up when I do it. So I just didn't feel like I needed all those. So I'll just put these back with a little oil and a Ziploc bag and, maybe do something with them later this week. If not, I'll just chop them up and give them to the dogs. So I'm going to put the rest of this sauce over there that you can't see. It looks really dark. And then we're going to put it in the oven for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, we're going to take it out. We're going to put some of that cheddar cheese on top, put it back in there for another 10 minutes to just melt the cheese, and then we're going to be ready to eat, and I'll show you what it looks like. While I'm doing this, I'll tell you, I just came to the realization that the recipe that I had, that I read, actually called for butter. I showed you guys butter, and I never used it. It actually called for you to dot the top of the noodles before you put the cheese mixture on it, to dot the top of the noodles with butter, which, butter makes everything taste better, and I'm sure it does, and I'm trying to lighten this up, and I actually have light butter, but I did forget to do that. So that's in the recipe, and I'll put the recipe down below. I don't know the calorie count on this. I'll try to put this in my recipe builder and figure it up. I've told you guys, trying to lose weight and being a heart patient, I do need to watch my weight, and I do need to eat. Everybody needs to eat healthy, but it's really important, with my heart condition, to try to, be as healthy as possible. So I used to do Weight Watchers, and I did lose weight on Weight Watchers, but, it cost money, and I just really want to do it on my own. There are things I like about it and things I don't, and I think I'm going to have some sauce left, so maybe I'll have some spaghetti for lunch one day and send this with a family member if we have any left over. So I use this app called myfitnesspal. And it's an app. You can also access it online. And that's what I use. And you can put your recipes in there and add your ingredients and come up with your calorie count per serving. So I would, honestly, I mean, you could cut this into thirds, but for my family, I would probably cut this straight down the middle and do probably 8 servings out of this. So that's how I'll do the calorie count. But if you don't have big boys like I do that you got to feed, you could probably cut it in thirds and even get probably close to 12 out of here. So let me get this in the oven. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like when I pull it out and once I cut a piece. I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. I wanted, while I'm sitting here waiting for my clock to wind down with 17 minutes left, I've already washed up all my dinner dishes. I need to wash off my stove. I've wiped off my table and got it all set. So I love things like this that don't take that long to put together. You can pop it in the oven, and while it's in the oven, you can get everything else done. I have figured it out. I had everything on my list. I bought everything on my list except for my cheese here. And I figured it out, and the spices. I already had the spices. So I figured it out, and I believe everything came to probably about $15 total for this one dish. And so if you figure that by 8, that's less than $2 per serving for this meal. And I kind of lightened it up a little bit. Is it grilled chicken breast and asparagus healthy? No, but it's kid healthy. And it's whole grain noodles, it's light cream cheese, it's lean ground beef. So I'm thinking, in my youngest favorite all-time meal is lasagna. So this has that lasagna flavor without all the thyme and all the fat. So we're still waiting. We're still at 16 minutes. I think we're going to sit down and do some homework. I'm going to pull it out. So I'm going to pull out probably just a bag of salad mix, some salad dressing I already have here. If more people were home, they're not tonight, it's kind of a light night, I would pop probably some canned crescent rolls maybe in the toaster oven and heat those up. I'm going to make a pitcher of Crystal Light to drink with it, so we're still staying on this light, not heavy, low sugar, low fat kind of meal. So that's what I'm doing. We're going to start on some homework because we still have 14 minutes for this to cook, and then about another 5 or 10 for the cheese to melt. And like I said, for under $2, I'm hoping this turns out to be a great deal. So I'll show you more in a minute. Hold on. Okay, so here it is out of the oven. I put some cheese on top, and I melted it. I'm going to cut you a piece. Hold on. Okay, so here it is. Okay, so my phone died, and I had a piece all cut and plated. I don't know if you guys saw that. So I wanted to let you see what it looks like on the inside. And can I tell you that 8 is like huge portion sizes. So you very well could cut this into thirds and get even 12. So I will do the calorie count for 8, but you definitely could do this some more. So you see it's nice and layered there, and you got the noodles and the cheese and the meat sauce, and then the noodles and the cheese and the meat sauce and some cheese on top. So for, at 8, for like $2 a piece, that's a great meal. Everybody loved it. I hope you give it a try. I'll put all the information down below, and this is just something fun along with, my budget and you trying to, be budget conscious and also trying to be health conscious. I wanted to share with you guys. So I hope you liked it. If you did, thumbs up this video, subscribe, and let me know if you'd like to see more stuff like this. And I will see you guys soon. Remember to thank God for today, because it truly is a gift. Bye-bye.